Welcome to the Casa grotta del Casalnuovo. The visual tactile panel in front of you, together with this audio guide, will accompany you in the discovery of this characteristic house museum. This panel shows the general layout of the cave house, top right, and its section, below, accompanied by a short text and the legend on the left. In this audio guide, after a brief introduction, the two drawings will be described in detail. Introduction. The cave house is a typical house of the city of Matera. In the territory of Matera, traces of the first human settlements date back to prehistory, when man found refuge in the natural caves on both sides of the ravine. Since then, until today, man has lived uninterruptedly in this land, made of limestone, the calcarenite commonly called kalktuff. By exploiting the friability of the rock, man has incessantly shaped the territory, thus developing a very original way of living on the cliff. The two Sassi districts, the Barisano to the north and the Cavioso to the south, are clear evidence of this. The Sassi are a vertical succession of rooms partly excavated and partly built, in which we can find houses, churches, canals, and tanks for collecting water, which alternate and overlap roads and alleys. The cave house represented here overlooks the Rione Casalnuovo road, located in the Sasso Cavioso, and is mostly carved into the rock. Inside, you can admire the furniture and original household tools of the family who lived there until 1958. The plan. This plan shows the different rooms that make up the cave house and the nearby rooms occupied by bookshops and outbuildings. In this cave house, as is typical of the Sassi houses, behind a built block are hidden others excavated on several levels in the limestone rock. In order to better understand this particular construction, in the drawing we tried to distinguish graphically, albeit schematically, the parts dug into the rock, indicated with a dotted texture, from those built in tough blocks. You have entered from the Rione Casalnuovo road on the left of the map, and you are now in the small courtyard of the entrance to the cave house, number 1. Your position is indicated by a round relief indicating you are here. The courtyard is a small open space surrounded by high walls with a small canopy in front of the entrance door to the house. In a corner of the courtyard you will find the small window of the ticket office, letter A. After passing through the main door and descending 8 steps, you enter the first of the 5 rooms, of which the cave house is made up. That is the main room where the daily activities were carried out, number 2. It is a large space in which the family, gathered around the table, shared their meal. In the same room there is a bed and several objects that attest to the life habits and traditions of the population of the time. The cave house was not equipped with running water or toilets. In one corner of the room, next to the wardrobe, there is a hollow with a tank for collecting rainwater, number 3. There were tanks in many houses in the Sassi. Where it was not possible to have one in the house, one could share the one in the neighborhood, a sort of courtyard shared by several adjacent houses. From the main room, moving up in the map, you enter the kitchen, number 4, raised by 3 steps. In the kitchen there is a fireplace and accessories used for cooking and storing food. There is also another small bed and some furniture. Moving from the main room to the right, you enter the barn, number 5, through a rather irregular staircase. The barn has a square plan with a step that divides it longitudinally into 2 parts. There are 4 hollows carved in the walls that served as troughs for pack animals, which were kept at home as they were considered a valuable asset for the family. The barn served as a heating system. The heat produced by the animals and by the fermentation of the manure, rising from below, invested the first room, where the family lived and slept. The barn leads to the cellar, number 6, the lowest area of the house. It is accessed by a long iron staircase, which in fact covers the original staircase carved into the rock. It is a rectangular room with a lowest central corridor and 2 slightly raised side strips, on which to store barrels and other foods. Thanks to a constant temperature all year round, it was the ideal place to store wine and food. In the past, the cellar was larger and it also occupied the space where today is the main room. From the main room, you finally access downwards to the ice house, number 7. The ice house was used to accumulate the snow, which, compacted into blocks, constituted a vital ice reserve throughout the year. From the ice house, you finally enter the accessory rooms of the house museum, now used for the toilets, letter C, and the bookshop, letter B, where books and handmade local artistic handicrafts are on sale. Here the tour ends and you exit again on the Rione Casalnuovo road. The section. Let's explore now the section of the cave house below. The section cuts the plan horizontally, showing the entrance courtyard, the main room, the barn and the cellar. The drawing clearly shows the different levels on which the cave house develops, going deeper and deeper so that between the entrance courtyard and the cellar there is a difference in height of 5 meters and 60 centimeters. The small silhouettes of people in the main room and in the cellar, and that of a mule in the barn, help to better understand the size of the rooms, with barrel ceilings that at the highest point are over 4 meters high. Beneath a corner in the main room, you can find the large tank for collecting rainwater, a 4-meter deep cavity with a typical drop shape. The section of the entrance courtyard shows the outer wall of the kitchen, above which there is a second floor. This room does not belong to the cave house, but it is a separate room which is accessed by a road that passes over the main room of the cave house. This is characteristic of the Sassi, in which the inhabited center develops vertically rather than horizontally, and in which the roads are almost always the roofs of the houses below.